Now on BBC Two, if you can manage to talk yourself out of any situation, then you should be a politician.
Hello and welcome to If I Rule the World. I'm joined this week by 4 people pretending to be politicians, although you may have seen them last week on the Vanessa Feltz show pretending to be single mothers. This week joining Graeme Garden on the blue team is Griff Rhys-Jones, and on the red team with Jeremy Hardy is Will Self. All right, now, we're going to start with a round called State of a Nation. We've asked our audience a series of questions, and our contestants have to guess or work out what the most popular answer to each question might be. Starting with you, Jeremy, we asked the audience this question: what picture would you like to see on a euro banknote?
I think most people would probably like to see a Spitfire.
Get my vote, but...
Do you mean somebody spitting fire? Or
no, any fixed-wing aircraft which so bravely defended this country during the Second World War.
You think that
against Germany,
yes.
I believe.
You think that captures the spirit of the euro,
I think so.
Oh. Well, let's see...
It's a different kind of unification, obviously, than the Germans had planned for. But...
Yeah. So let's see the picture you'd like to see on the euro banknote. Let's see what the audience voted for. A dove of peace, 16%. That beat Princess Di into second place. Spice Girls came third. For patriotic people like yourself, the pound sign got a mention, which I think would be a good one to have in the euro. The Queen got a mention, but she was beaten by a short head by a chimpanzee on a toilet.
No, this is not true. The Queen has never been beaten by a chimpanzee on a toilet.
So, Graeme, who's the biggest liar in the world? What do you think the audience answered to that?
Yes, what would this audience here select? They've probably forgotten O.J. Simpson. Saddam Hussein might have been popular at one. I think at the moment probably Bill Clinton is who they'll go for.
Mick Jagger must be entering the fray, mustn't he, really?
Right, not following on that one, so you'll stick with your answer of Bill Clinton.
I'm not going to change my mind.
OK, Bill Clinton, let's see who the audience voted for. Who's the biggest liar in the world? Bill Clinton, well done, Graeme. You mentioned Saddam Hussein, that he was in 4th place, just beaten into 3rd place by Jonathan Aitken. But 2nd place is somebody whose name has been withheld for legal reasons. We mustn't mention his name. I can say he's an important businessman, but apparently he would sue the audience and us if we mention his name. Well, now, Griff, your question, or the question you have to deal with. What first attracted Sophie Rhys-Jones to Prince Edward?
What, you mean apart from his fiery gypsy sexuality? Well, I honestly have to say that I don't think this is any business of ours. So I'd like to talk about it for about an hour and a half.
Yes.
Now, first of all, I did want to say that I think that, as far as I'm concerned, it's a love thing, I should think. And obviously, he doesn't have any opinions on architecture, or indeed any opinions of any kind whatsoever, I should think, which is probably quite helpful.
Yes. So what are you going to settle on?
Well, I don't know, it's a difficult one. I think it's probably...
And she is family, isn't she?
Well, funny enough, we're not related.
Oh,
in fact,
really?
I have to say that, because in case anybody thought I was partisan here. So
Yes.
I could marry him myself, but no, I think it's love, I have to say. I think everybody would agree with me. It's probably...
But what attracted her to him?
A burning, passionate, mild affection.
Burning, passionate, mild affection. He's a prince. That just for the audience, that just edged out his fortune, and number 3, his charisma. A better answer, I thought, somebody came up with, she is bored doing Crime Watch on the holiday programme. Or magnets in his pockets. That was another one. OK, Will, the question for you to answer for the audience, they were given, what happens when you die?
Yeah.
A deep question.
What happens when you die? Well, I don't know. I mean, whether the younger members of the audience are ready for these kind of revelations, but, you know, I think responsible leaders have to come up with the truth, and the truth is that you're eaten by your close relatives, and often ungarnished.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could...
Which constituency do you represent?
Stowe on the Wold.
Oh, right.
you're eaten by a close. That's the truth. I think that, though, that you probably think nothing.
Nothing. You think
nothing whatsoever.
Nothing happens when you die. Let's see what the audience voted. Nothing, you just died. So well done, Will. It's very good. Religious feelings were represented in the second answer. You go to heaven, or number 3, you become an angel. Some people said you join the House of Lords. So well done, Will. Now, we go on to the next round. Which is the yes-no interlude. All politicians have to develop the skill of not answering a straight question with a straight yes or no. If any of our contestants here should do that, then we'll hear this noise, and they will be eliminated from the competition. Now, Jeremy, the railways, are you disappointed with the rail companies since privatisation?
Disappointed is a word.
It is, but was it better when it was nationalised?
Well, this is a very difficult question. We need to get away from this sterile old debate about who owns things.
Yes.
You know, whether it belongs to the government, whether it belongs to friends of mine.
Yeah.
Really isn't the issue.
Do you agree with him on this?
This
question of
this
railway.
sceptred isle, set in a sunless sea.
Sure. Do you travel first class?
Class is everything. In railways. As in life.
Did you come here on a train tonight?
Come frequently. In colours.
Do you understand any of this?
Of course. Although our style varies, our core values are the same.
The same.
Yeah. Let's bring in the blue team for the moment. Are you worried that Spain is trying to get Gibraltar back?
On the railways?
Should we give Gibraltar back to the Spanish?
Absolutely not.
Should we swap Gibraltar for Majorca?
That's a good idea.
Are you worried about the monkeys?
I'm not worried about the monkeys, Clive.
Why did you turn to Griff Rhys-Jones? Is he a monkey?
I wanted to see if he was worried about the monkeys, but they seem to be leaving us alone so far. Can't speak for the other team, of course.
Do you think the Gibraltar problem is a serious one?
Si.
Should we give Gibraltar away the way we gave Hong Kong away?
We didn't give Hong Kong away.
Didn't we?
It was stolen from us.
Do you believe that?
I certainly do.
Do you just say it to get a cheap laugh?
That wasn't a cheap laugh.
Talking of chimps, have you seen the report from New Zealand, the suggestion that great apes and chimps should be given human rights? Will Soph, do you think that chimps should be given rights?
Rights to roam, rights to buy a drink in Auckland, in any decent wet bar or hotel, as long as they're wearing a collar and tie.
Yeah. Do you think it should be extended to sheep in New Zealand?
Disconcerting sight of sheep in the best hotels in Auckland being served willy-nilly.
What does YES spell?
You try and dumb down the debate with this kind of facile question.
Yeah. Are you objecting to me coming down to your level?
Levels of power in any organisation are important, and in chimpanzee groups, dominance is established by a crude display of aggression enforced by the larger member of the group,
yes,
who subordinates the smaller,
yes,
and often older male.
Are you...
And leads him into submission.
I see. Let's turn to the health service, Jeremy. Do you think there's a crisis in the health service?
If there is a crisis in the health service, we've got to look at what the root cause is. And clearly the cause is sick people.
Yeah.
We've got to establish whether they're bogus sick people or not. So we're going to try and make them walk up a flight of stairs, and if they fall down, they're genuine.
Yeah.
And then they can have an operation.
Do you think there's been a flu epidemic this winter?
It would be quite wrong for me to answer that question.
Why?
Because I'm in perfect health, and I wouldn't want anybody to feel in any way intimidated by my radiant good looks. And
He has the most astonishing bunion. It's guaranteed his re-election for several parliaments. Yeah, I have. It's a special meeting.
I'm so close there, and yet still so far away. Graeme, you were a doctor once, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Graeme, the loser, and we've got to Thank you very much. Now, let's play a game called the Pager Round. Now, all politicians these days have to keep in contact with base and respond to messages given to them by their pager. And I'm going to be interviewing Graeme while he receives message on his pager. We can follow the message he's been given because it'll be displayed across the television set. So, Graeme, I want to ask you about the recession in this country and worldwide. Now, is this country about to go into a recession?
No, there's no question of this country going into a recession.
Well, the figures seem to show that...
but they show that Europe may suffer some slowing down, some cooling off of the economy.
And the Far East
American
as well.
boom is upheld by inflated share prices. But at the end of the day, when you look at the other side of the hill, all in all, and avoiding cliches like the plague,
yes,
I think it's...
Inevitably, international trade is going to be dragged down by the crisis in the Far East and by things happening in Europe.
Well, yes, and you're talking about the Brazilian economy, which is in a dreadful state.
It is in a dreadful state,
at the moment, and...
I'm sorry,
if we turn to Brazil and look at their economic position at the moment...
Well, what steps can the government take to keep industry going in terms of tax breaks or anything?
Terribly sorry.
Sorry, did you want to bring in Griff Rhys-Jones?
No, I think he might want to leave the room.
What about the economic war of today? Where is Britain
there is no economic war. I mean, you know, people make it up. Griff was saying the other... In fact, I wish you'd shut up about the economic war and leave.
But he's a member of your party.
Well, it's my party, and I can fire if I want to.
Thank you very much, Graeme Garden. That's interesting interview. Jeremy Hardy, I want to ask you about the arms to Sierra Leone affair. There's been a very damning report made by the influential backbench committee, which basically condemns everything that's gone on in the Foreign Office in relation to this Sierra Leone matter. What have you got to say about
Well, what you're ignoring is the key issue, which is that this has been a major success for British exports. These arms, which are British arms, and I know that some of the babes are going to agree with me on that.
What's happened to your ethical foreign policy?
Well, we've got it somewhere, but it really isn't fair to ask me questions, because when I'm not in a position to answer back.
Well, you are, but
I am not in the position to answer back.
You are. You are a politician. You are here to answer that you...
The position to answer back is over there.
Civil servants...
I'm in this position.
Civil servants can't answer back, but you are here to take responsibility.
Well, that's because we've told them they'll be sacked if they do.
But absolutely, you're here to represent the government and its policies, and you will only go on radio programmes and chat shows. Why don't you deal with proper political programmes?
Hey, Daddy-O. Cool, crazy Clive.
Well, it's no good trying to get round me that way. I want to get to the bottom of this.
Don't frazz me with these questions.
Isn't it? I'm surprised you think it's so funny that a great office of state is unable to communicate between the minister and the man on the ground.
When you're a jet all the way.
Well, the jets were supplied by the British government and were in breach of the UN sanctions.
But these were jets for use in parks. And this is a litter initiative I'm proud to announce. A terrible litter in East Timor at the moment, and these low-swooping jets will go under the radars, pick up the litter with little spiky...
So you're going to supply jets to East Timor to pick up...
I said this as a Hollywood party the other day.
Yes. Who was there, for goodness sake?
Right.
Who was there at this party?
Yeah. Dirty interviewer? Yeah. So happy questions,
Thank you very much, Jeremy Hardy. Right. Well, there it is. That was a bizarre round. As we go on to test the political water, everybody here in the studio audience has got a little voting device. They can vote for the blue party or the red party, whichever they think should be in the lead at the moment. If you'd like to do that, and vote now. There it is, and the red party into a 62 to 38% lead. Well done, the Reds. Now, this is quite an astonishing lead for you. I don't think you've ever been this far on the head, have you, Jeremy?
This is terrible news for us, because with a majority like this, people expect us to do something.
Yes.
We're not about to bow to that pressure.
So you don't...
I'll do that. I'll bow to pressure. but I won't do anything else.
No. The Blue Party, this is a very... I can tell in your faces you're taking this very seriously.
This is just a marginal audience.
If you look at the figures a different way, we have 83% and they have 26.
Yes. Yes, that's very good. Now let's go on to a round called It's a Stick-Up. Now, political posters are sometimes very difficult to understand. Graeme and Griff, here's your latest offering from your party. It appears to be a picture of the Titanic, but what's it supposed to mean in political terms?
Go with us, go blue.
The sacrifice that those people have made paved the way for, well, 2 films at least and a crap song by Celine Dion. So, people may knock the film, but of course it did result in the horrible death of Leonardo DiCaprio, which we all salute.
So let's look at your poster then and see what... now, this is perhaps a simpler message.
I think everybody can...
What is you? Yeah.
Well, I think everybody can see where we're getting at, can't they?
Yes.
A bold new initiative on social security.
Yeah.
Eliminate elderly, upper-middle-class women.
I see.
Bold move.
Yeah, very bold.
We're also looking at the possible slogan, it only takes one in the upper chamber.
So this is...
This is extraordinary. I'm sorry, I just want to say, how can they... This is extraordinary. This is just typical of the Red Party pinching our ideas. We actually did this. And here they go.
Yes.
They go.
To be fair to us, you couldn't finish off the job.
They're more dangerous when they're just injured, you know that, don't you?
You are ridiculing the woman there who has led this country for longer than anybody else wanted.
And let's go on to round now. I like to keep in touch. How up-to-date are our politicians? I'm going to start with Graeme. The questions are on the computer age, and your time starts now. What's a mouse mat for?
It's to stop you getting dirty little footmarks all over the floor.
Can't give you that. It's to help your mouse run smoothly, apparently.
Or your mouth.
Oh, mouth, yes. Easy for me to say. Where do cookies come from?
I don't know, but Cookie sure gets a lot of them, doesn't he?
Yes. No point for the internet websites, so it's almost topical. Which actress was impregnated by a computer?
Well, I know one or two who were impregnated behind a photocopier, but... oh, you mean by the computer?
Yes, that was by a commuter, I think you're thinking of, but...
Julie Christie.
Julie Christie.
Demon Seed.
Well done, a point there. What would you find at www.datachimp.com?
Chimp dating agency.
Very
satisfactory one, too, I may say.
Lessons in understanding financial maths, apparently. A rather dull answer, no points there. What did Babbage do?
He nearly invented the cabbage. And did invent the computer.
Oh, well done, yes, point there. What happens in a cyber cafe?
You get a virtual cup of tea and a laptop dancer.
I'll give you a point for that. You can use the internet. But I think you... What's DOS? D-O-S.
That's a lettuce almost invented by Babbage.
It's computer disk operating language. Can't give you a point for that. What's daisy chaining?
It's a very popular service at Daisy's Palace of Correction.
Not a way of... Oh, well, I can't give you a point there. It's a way of connecting computers with printers, scanners, etc. So how many points you get there? 3 points to Graeme Garden. Well done. Now we turn to Jeremy Hardy now. The questions for you are on the new age. And your question time starts now. What is vibrational medicine also known as?
The kind you have to shake up before opening the bottle.
No, it's energy medicine, such as spiritual healing. What are ley lines?
They are lines which connect points of gullibility.
I think I can give you half a point for that. Geographical paths or lines with powerful forces is what I have done here. Where would you put a tiger's penis?
On your cornflakes?
I could have accepted tigress.
No, Frosties. It should be on your Frosties.
It's in your tea. It's a Chinese aphrodisiac.
Right.
But don't do this at home, because there's not many of them left. What are your chakras?
I
have to hurry you, because...
Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, let me rock you, Chaka Khan. Rock you.
You're close, but...
It's hippie tree-hugging crap.
Pressure points on the body, so nothing there, I'm afraid. Where is your 7th chakra?
Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, let me rock you, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, let me rock you, it's all I want to do.
Is you miming it? Is it your finger?
Yes, it's there.
No, it's Uranus. Now, what... So you were close. What does Feng Shui mean?
It means just turn the couch a bit, that'll be £50, please.
Yeah, I'll give you credit for that. Quite that, it's... literally means wind and water, but it is a range in French. I'm giving you 1 point. You've got still down to 0. 1 point to Jeremy, so I think a win there for Graeme, nonetheless. Now we go on to test out our politician's ability to make a speech. In particular, Griff Rhys-Jones, can he make up a speech, in fact, deliver a speech, sounding like a convincing politician, but using words that I'm going to supply? The words and their source will become obvious as we go along. Take away, Mr. Griff Rhys-Jones.
Right, well, this is, in fact, not so much a speech as a statement I've been asked to make on behalf of the Ministry of Defence. Get ready, all you lonely girls, and leave your umbrellas at home. The humidity is rising. The barometer is getting low. According to our sources, the street's the place to go. Because tonight, for the first time, just about 10:30, for the first time in history, it's going to start raining men. It's raining men, hallelujah. It's raining men, amen. I'm going to go outside and let myself get absolutely soaking wet. It's raining men, hallelujah. It's raining men, every specimen. Tall, blonde, dark and lean, rough and tough and strong and mean. It's raining men, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, well, yes?
Apparently that's as a result of Saddam Hussein's giant man cannon.
I've heard about Saddam Hussein's giant man cannon.
There used to be a television series with a giant man cannon, wasn't there?
Yes, there was, yes. There's another way of looking at it. Anyway, well done. That was rather sobering, rather disturbing. You've got to take this up as a profession. Comedy. But... we now have a round of I couldn't disagree more. It's very important that any politician is able to disagree with any policy announced by his opponents, however reasonable it may first appear to be. Now, Jeremy, I'm going to try you out this week. Graeme and Griff, you've got to come up with policy statements or assertions of fact which Jeremy is going to attempt to disagree with. Take it away.
We shouldn't use cars for frivolous journeys.
Well, we have to. Obviously, the bulk of a frivolous journey is conducted on the plane. But how are you going to get to the airport? we have to get to Concord, don't we? You know, we're not going to get the bus, and the train won't go onto the tarmac, will it?
Drugs, just say no.
No, that would be incredibly rude. What one should say is... What one should say is, thanks, but no thanks. I like drugs, but they don't like me. No thanks, one line of that and I'll be up all night.
Bears defecate in forested areas.
I think you'll find that's the Pope.
Yes, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's ass.
You like it?
No, I have to say that I get on very well with my neighbours, Gordon Brown, and he has quite a pert little number. I wouldn't mind having one myself. Mine's a bit of a big dumply one.
Anyway, more...
No, cannibalism is not the answer.
Well, it depends what the question is. If the question is, what do you call eating other people? The answer is...
I think he's got you there. Yeah.
Love thy neighbour.
No, I couldn't disagree more, although he has got a very nice ass. I'd say our relationship was one of close, professional hatred.
All right, well, let's leave that round there. Well done, Jeremy Hardy. Now, we've had to stop that round there because we are coming very close to the end of the programme. There's just a little bit of time for the participants here to grab some last-second votes if they press their buzzers or bells and announce a vote-grabbing policy. And... Yes, Will.
We'll come round and shampoo your stair carpets.
We're going to introduce a performance-based league table for football teams.
Very good. Now, if you vote for us, one of our major planks of policy is in areas of high urban prostitution. We're going to increase the street lighting to make sure you can have a good look at what you're getting.
And so would she, which might be a disadvantage in your case.
We promised to stop holding referendums subject to a three-quarters majority in a plebiscite on the matter.
Yes. Very good.
We'll make Rod Stewart marry someone his own age.
Yes, Will.
20-metre by 30-metre patio with optional water feature.
Done. Excellent. Yes,
the immediate arrest of any man who seems a nice, quiet type, keeps himself to himself, bit of a loner.
I think that already is government policy.
We promised to stop saying "for the 21st century" at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
That is your policy for...
For the new millennium.
Yes.
We're going to renew our commitment to the space programme and put a man on Jupiter. And that man will be Chris Evans.
We promised to stop saying tough.
Tough.
And to say leathery instead.
Leathery.
Oh, and that's the division bell, and that's the end of that round, so well done, everybody. And now we come to the important part of the evening, even more important than all those rounds. The audience here is now taking part in a general election. You now have to decide which of these two teams, which of these two parties should form the next government. If you want the blue party to succeed, then vote blue with your blue button. If you want the red party, then vote red with the red button, and do either of those now. Oh, and well done. The blue party has just snuck home and no more. Well, you must be terrifically disappointed at Justice. Will, can I address this question to you? Do you think you could stop drumming with your fingers? And also, do you think possibly you might have succeeded had you had a different leader?
I think one of the first things we're going to be doing is hanging him from a gibbet.
Yes. Fair enough. Now, what about the blue party? You've just snuck...
You've seen that this was a massive vote of confidence.
Yes.
A massive.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have hoped for anything.
Are you going to have to govern in association with some of the minority parties?
No. We won by 13 or 14% there. You can see the figures.
Anyway, well done. The blue party have shown the common touch, whereas the red party have shown the Clapham common touch. That's all from If I Ruled the World. This is me, Clive Anderson, saying good night. Good night.
Aiming to demystify the law, Clive Anderson starts a new series, Unreliable Evidence, tomorrow morning at 9 on BBC Radio 4.